Welcome this morning to election nomination day. We're here at the Seventh-day Adventist Church on King Street. Nominations are from 11 to 1 p.m. today, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We already have two candidates that have stepped up. One is independent candidate Maria Seaman, Pastor Maria Seaman, and she was actually the first one through the door. The first candidate here on the grounds is independent David W. Burch, candidate for Warwick Southeast, which is constituency 24, and he has 6 planks to his candidacy. Looks like his campaign manager is Mike Markham. So anyway, he talks about education, a return to community and local neighborhood schools, giving parents a choice where to send their child to school. Health, universal preventive health care by establishment of operational health, preventive health care clinics in each parish using herbal and alternative medicine free for parish residents. Medical prescription of cannabis by doctors for patients suffering from cancer, asthma, sickle cell, and Parkinson's. His housing platform is low cost and guaranteed housing for disabled and seniors by government, providing incentive housing developers in special development zones. For food, community gardens in each parish assisted by the Department of Agriculture staff. Incentive payments for seniors and homeowners to plant fruit trees such as avocados and mangoes in the yards and receive $25 per month to keep up the fruit trees. Fruit to be distributed by the parish councils. His economy, no new taxes, lowering the rate of land tax to all seniors and 0 for families home with more than 3 children. Continuing benefits for exempt companies to locate in Bermuda by establishing a junior minister of exempt companies under the Minister of Finance. Again, this is David W. Burch, an independent candidate for Warwick Southeast. And lastly, law reform, new law requiring Premier and Chief Magistrate to be Bermudian born. So across the street, we have the PLP's party supporters are set up. They are playing music. They're distributing little flags for people to wave. As you can see in the left-hand corner of our video, lady has her probably has her PLP flag up to support her candidates. So the PLP are meeting up at Fort Hamilton, and then they're going to march down here to the Seventh-day Adventist Church here on King Street. And then we also expect the OBA to arrive en masse. And this is the FDM's first political contest, so we're not sure what's going to be happening with them. We will be streaming live and bringing you updates as candidates come through. But for now, we're just going to let you enjoy the music for a bit.
It's going to be live. Watch this. We'll pick it up. No, let me ask him. Go on. Is it live for? No, yeah, he's live. The problem with this your phone.
If we go over there, then she'll have already and they did the interview. Right.
Okay, like I said, I'm leaving this to your phone. All this real come together right now. Any minute? Burch.
Yeah, Burch.
With the independent.
Austin. Colonel Burch.
Danny. Yeah, where you from? I can't You're not supposed to be inside this circle. That's why I hate it. This is good probably for another 30, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And the heat switch is going to be turned on.
I don't like the Jackson anymore.
I did. I'm so flexible today, but I'm just thinking what my attorney would say. My attorney would want to accept it. I think. I mean, I don't know. Sports car. I've come a long way, baby. I'm a sports car. There you go.
Okay, once again, just as an update, we're at the Seventh-day Adventist Church on King Street, which is where the nominations for all the political party candidates will take place. So far, we've had 2 independents show up. Pastor Maria Seaman and David W. Burch, who's running in Warwick Southeast. The PLP are gathering up at Fort Hamilton for the march down. And then across the street, we have the PLP set up with music. They're passing out
I'm sure it will be. And remind me which position be 27. And that's why north. Yeah. And is that your home place? Yeah. And definitely.
I know that's my one. I don't want to miss it. I think that's I knew that's what I
What about the third one? Mary.
Okay. Mr. Burch? Just take your mask off.
Okay.
glad.
Yeah. You can step back. You can step back a little bit.
Okay. Excuse me 1 second. Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah.
All right. So, Mr. Burch, this isn't the first time you've run before.
No,
So, how many times have you run, and why are you running this time?
I'm running the same reason I run all the time, because we need independent candidates to run this country. It's this island because it's not a country.
Okay. And for you're passing out a flyer here with your platform on it. I read it earlier today. But for you, why are these issues important?
Why did I think what?
Why are these issues important on your flyer? Why are they important?
They're important because we need that change in Bermuda. We need to change Bermuda. Obviously, it's not been working the way it's been going all this time. Party politics, as far as I'm concerned, is a failure in Bermuda. Too small for party politics. You know, we need all independent candidates to rightly respect the respective constituencies that they run and represent, so we can have town hall meetings and have the people weigh in and say what they're saying, and then we go by that and represent that in the House.
Right. For you, on a lot of people's mind is the economy with the loss of jobs. How do you propose to address that?
Noise, excuse me. Well, that noise they're making on here is
For a lot of people, the problem is the economy, with COVID causing economic effects throughout Bermuda. How do you propose to address that if you're elected?
Well, all we can do with the public is go from here, because it's something brand new to all of us.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about new taxes and lowering the rate of land tax for seniors. These are the things that we need to do and address. They haven't been addressed. That's why we're in the dilemma we're in now.
Right.
So, but being a change agent, independent candidates, as far as I'm concerned, will change all that to make it right for Bermuda.
Right. Now, in your past elections, you haven't received more than what?
First time I got 25.
Right.
Then I went down to 19, 12, 9, and all that stuff.
You're going in the wrong direction there.
Wrong direction. Well, it's the people that's going in the wrong direction, because they need to know why they need to elect independent candidates and not party politics.
Okay. All right.
Politics, obviously, our demise. It's been costing us nothing but. That's why we got the pandemic, so-called. I call it a plandemic.
Okay. Plandemic. Why do you call it plandemic?
Well, because I believe that this is the last stand for party politics, and to force the people by frightening them to elect them again one more time, because they know they're on the way out.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Burch.
Thank you.
Let's go down and get some coffee.
You're welcome. Don Burgess. Burners.
Yep, thought I would come while the sun is not
Anytime you want to have a
Yeah,
one-on-one on with them or something, let me know.
Okay.
feel the moment
And
without everyone around, all the other candidates. So yeah, I wanted to get here. Plus it's a speculative
I can arrange,
all the time.
sit down with you.
Okay.
Celebrating his life.
Right, thank you.
I wanted to make sure to get together. Yes, indeed. Indeed, alleged.
So, what are your strong points doing this?
Strong points, I believe, is what I've already done. Independent thinker, a doer, speak to every issue. I think the word that comes to mind is truly a grassroots politician. That means beyond sitting in the House of Assembly, the people will see me on the ground, in the neighborhood, transforming, if given the opportunity. And my prayer, my hope is that folks understand, well, you know what, this is what she does. And that she stands on integrity and the best for a parish for Bermuda, really.
Your main platform?
Main platform, looking at
Okay, we can hear the PLP
extending.
coming down. We can hear the drums
I believe it's very important to challenge our people to live up to us.
as they're making their way down from Fort Hamilton. They're on King Street now, heading towards the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
To do the best they can do. That's the way I grew up, and
I found great success, and likewise with our family.
You think for me to meet some third party, you got to do that? As good as the ELB around the corner.
I think Bermuda needs integrity among politicians, and we need to get out there and do for the people, not just one day, not just on these big issues, but every day, every month. Politicians will be impacting the community. As for parties, as folks know, I've always been key advocate, and so therefore that's where my allegiance certainly lies outside being an independent. Yet with this topic of legalization, that's very passionate to me. As a Christian, I cannot speak out against something that I signed. All right? Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm there. It's not wrong with that.
Anthony, so by. I want to do an interview.
Okay. All right.
Kendall. Hey. You're going to ride today, right? Yeah. ELB. I'm coming. It's back. 6 minutes. Yeah.
running in this election?
I'm running because I feel there's a lack of voice when it comes to independent thinkers, and certainly on certain issues that grab the heart and that will, I believe, impact Bermuda for decades to come. And so I want to make sure that my voice is heard.
I know there were several issues that you weren't happy with what the PLP was doing. What are those in particular, and why has this helped urge you to run?
I would say two main issues at this point. Of course, everyone knows I'm not for the legalization of weed. I do support decriminalization of weed, but not the legalization. And then the other issue that is unsettled to me is still on the same-sex marriage, how it was represented by the party and how they speak to it.
Where do you think your chances to be? And I know you have a great faith in God, but independent candidates haven't done very well in this election in the past. What gives you the belief that you can change that?
Well, I believe that if the people are at liberty to vote on experience and integrity of voice, then I will do well. I believe that my chances are as they are. And the key is that I do all with integrity. So I already win. I already did.
All right, thank you very much.
just hold that, please. Solid noise. Thanks.
Mr. Premier, how would you describe the atmosphere here today as your team arrived?
Nomination Day is a celebration of democracy. At 1 o'clock, we will find out the persons who put their names forward to run for the party. To run in the country's October 1st general election. For us, we have fielded 36 candidates today, and we have a scaled-down celebration from what we had last time in light of the pandemic. But we have everyone out here appropriately masked, making sure we keep our social distance, and we've nominated 36 candidates for the Bermuda Progressive Labor Party this morning. So I just want to give a thanks to the party staff, I want to give a thanks to the candidates, I want to give thanks to the Gumbays, I want to give a thanks to everyone who came out to support the Progressive Labor Party this nomination day. Now it's time for us to get on the doorsteps and continue to earn every single vote in this country.
Now you have quite a few new candidates this time around. Well, as a group, how would you describe them?
As a group, I describe it as a diverse group, which is reflective of the country. This pandemic has been difficult for many. There's struggles that occur. People have struggles in their personal lives. People have struggles in their professional lives. But at the end of the day, they recognize that this is an exercise in democracy. And as a country, we must be proud of what it is we're doing and put yourselves forward in order to make change. So we are pleased to have 36 candidates, old, new, young, different, and we are ready to head into the October 1st election, and a contrast of a team that has strong leadership, demonstrated leadership, and a heart for the people that has made strong and progressive change since we've been elected.
Now I know a happy problem for you would be to see all the senators elected and having to replace them. Do you have people already in mind in case that happens?
Absolutely not. We don't have any of those discussions until after the election. The first step is to make sure that you get to the election first.
Right. All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Marcy.
Some will head off the hill, so make sure you have one of your people at the bottom making sure they don't. How are you? All right, go ahead.
First off, for having all your candidates come down and
Well, we have to scale down last time around. Like immediate family marching here now, Nation Day, nominating all 36 of our candidates. They can go to and get back to work on the bill.
Just hold it up to your mouth.
Now you can fit your equipment in your pocket.
You
Okay,
can
where am I
just step
looking?
back a little bit. Yeah, you can sit. All right.
That's better?
Yeah. And you can take your mask off. We're here with Dr. Ernest Peats, who's running in constituency 7? 10. All right. You're running against Michael Dunkley. What did you learn from the last time that you ran your campaign? Because you fell just a little bit short of pulling an upset.
Okay. Actually, last time in 2017, there was a lot going on as relates to America's Cup and the airport. Those issues are not necessarily what I'm hearing so much on the doorstep in 2020. What I'm hearing on the doorstep is really about healthcare, seniors, and of course the pandemic. We had a lot of support in 2017. We just missed it. We think we have a good opportunity this year. My job is just to go and represent myself the best way I can as it relates to the expertise and the skill sets that I bring to the table.
As a pastor, how have you seen people reacting to the pandemic and what they're facing?
Well, it's been tough on everyone. Every demographic that you can think about, from our seniors right down to our little kids. You know, I'm real proud of the leadership that we've had regarding how we've handled the pandemic. Right now, people are still feeling a bit anxious about the long-term effects as relates to the economy, jobs. So I'm looking forward to actually working with the Premier after the election to ensure that we're still doing our level best.
And for you, how long have you been running or campaigning before you were announced, actually?
Well, of course, campaigning and canvassing is very difficult. You can't really do it all by yourself. So I certainly give a lot of thanks to the PLP branch and all the volunteers that have been helping me. You know, these last couple of years, I've been super busy, you know, working with the youth, working in the community, doing as much canvassing as I can. Right now, of course, we're in full canvassing mode, and we're going to do our best to see if we can meet every household as quickly as we can.
Right. Is it a lot more difficult trying to campaign, having to social distance and wear a mask?
Yeah, it is, and I wish I could do a little bit more on social media to reach some of our constituents. But social distancing is important, and I've been advising my team to make sure they adhere to all of the recommendations from the health department. On the doorstep, most of the residents have been very, very accommodating. So I'm just thanking everyone for maintaining social distance. And when this pandemic is over, perhaps we can do a little bit more canvassing and perhaps maybe get a little closer, maybe indoors, and do a little bit more discussing and talking.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Peats.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That's a very, very simple but effective setup. You're still on. Thank you. All right.
No worries, you're not the first.
All right, the PLP are getting ready to gather themselves together so that they can go back up the hill.
Yes, sir. Come back, George. Come back.
These guys first.
Coach. Come back, Don. Don. Yeah, that's fine. Can you come here with the that some? Famous, come here some. Famous, come here some. Dad, come here some. There we go. Everybody go forward. Smile.
They're so in the shade, they really shouldn't be. They should be in the sun. Yeah. They should be in the sun, guys. Put them in the sun.
I'm good, you're good.
Spin them around the other.
Hey, right there. What's up, man?
Okay. We have a couple of the OBA candidates coming in. The first from the OBA I see. I'm not really sure if I saw anybody else, but it looks like these were the first two.
They say they can tell one. Tell him I've done it. If he wants. Go ahead, you can do it. Go ahead. Go ahead. I feel confident, stay optimistic, because I didn't just start canvassing, I've been canvassing the whole time, making myself available. Right now it's done off of predictions, so I don't want to say put the exact number, but it is.
Mr. Deputy Premier,
Sure.
We are anticipating it to be considerably long. Several times over the last
Definitely. Yeah. If you can hold it a little higher, pull it a little higher so it's closer to your mouth, and just all good. And then you can pull that mask down just a little bit so we can hear. All right, we're here with Deputy Leader, Deputy Premier Walter Roban. How would you describe today? I see you're sweating. It's a hot one. Yes.
Emotional, but very purposeful. When the official campaign starts, once all the candidates are nominated, I'm so proud to be part of the team that once again we're giving
Now, I know some of the candidates, PLP has a good slate of new candidates that they've introduced. Have you been giving them any advice on campaigning?
I've canvassed with a number of candidates, so I willingly give them my time. I have my consistency and my team is the task manager for me, but they understand that that's part of the Jordan when it comes to the new leader is opportunity and talking to everyone. So I've been all around the island helping candidates canvassing and giving advice where I can.
What would you say was your biggest accomplishment or the thing that you were most proud of over the last 3 years?
I need the proud of the team because I'm reduced happening. That's why they are part of the team. So in this county and in the back have aided me in getting the job done that I've done. Whether streamlining a planning or trying to do different things around the environment and all the aspects of my ministry that we put.
What you say it was Lawrence? 32?
22
or 32?
I've had the support of the team for the past 2 years. Every job that I've been given. And I'm grateful that I've had such a great team of people to work with over the past 2 years.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to say one thing. Part of the emotional part of it is that there's one person who was part of the team. I thought it was 15 today, but has been so much a part of my experience in the President's Party since the late 80s when I joined that Michael Scott. I have known Michael was a candidate back in 1989 to 1993, so he's been a part of my life.
You're joining the leader?
And party. He's been such a strong spirit for us.
That's what I need.
From Sam, obviously where he has sat at that team, but also running and other teams on behalf of the party, all of the women and putting on our agenda. I'd like to get through to him at this time, all the work and all the family services going to and the people of Sam. He's been a great friend, he's been a great advisor, he's been a great mentor to me as well. We both would have been a part of the party that Mr. Wade and Ron Evans were here. And that was the party I grew up in and Michael Scott was in. So I just want to give a bit of tribute to him and all of the service he has done.
Thank you very much, sir. And you had one more thing you wanted to say?
I'd like to also make mention of certain other candidates that we all know the story of Kean, sorry, not the wrong selection. But I'd also like to give credit to the work that he's done and his passion around black empowerment, around issues of race and finding a and speaking up for men having experiences like this, but as triumph and looking for purpose. He had his purpose as a member of the legislature, but I'm certain that going on, he will continue to have a purpose in the city. I'd just like to give a few for all the work that he did as part of the LBC and how he started to hammer issues like the living wage, cost of living, and inequality, and racial equality throughout the island.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, big guy.
right, here come the OBA candidates. Are coming up the way, led by opposition leader Craig Cannoneer.
Alright, they're going straight in? You are okay, cool. Thank you.
All right, team, let's go! Okay, how you doing? That's it, thank you. How you doing? Good. Today? Hey, how are you? All right.
I got you ready yesterday. Brian?
Cookie. Cookie. Carrie.
All right, I'm live. I'm live.
What's this other little place?
I did a quick count. I don't think there was 36, but that could have been easily miscounted. One person was earlier, but it looked like it 35. But I'm sure they've got a full slate with 17 new candidates being introduced today.
See, now you just trying to get me in trouble.
I'm hearing it every day working. Yeah, I can do it. No, actually, I'm doing all the shows.
Hey, who's running the six?
I don't know.
It's too hot for these damn mouths. I'm about to shave. I don't know. I just take pictures, man. I'm not a man. You see me doing it like this? I'm not playing games. I get paid to play games.
Okay, I'm gonna beat them all that night. One time.
You know, I see you.
The only person I gotta do is see your grandma.
Why not?
That's the only person I need to see. That's the only person I need to see.
You ain't been to see her either.
There you go. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
She want to behind us.
I know she ready for hot. I know she ready for hot that time. Don't worry, I'm the best.
Oh, are you?
Yes, I am.
Okay, then come.
I already got a nice shot of you, man.
Listen.
Wait,
You gotta pay for that privilege. That's $50 a picture, brother. Let me just turn this off. You know, say a whole bunch of curse words, flash the camera.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hello, Jeremy. How are you? So how many candidates you got, Jeremy? I haven't counted them yet. I haven't counted them. Jeremy, no need to be Give away and come back. Give away and come back. They can come in. Come out. It's up to you.
Bring him out a little bit. He's running to the wall. Looks like a criminal.
Okay, ready?
3, 2.
Pass.
All right, the seven faces there. Just went through. I thought she had retired with Sylvan and Jeannie.
Yeah, that was an assumption that everyone had made that she had retired. I had thanked her for the service.
No, right here. Oh, I thought you were talking to her. And I thought she put up six fingers. See the girl up front. Swan? Oh, I thought you were talking to her. You know what I mean?
Okay, it's the OBA going in and registering, nominating their candidates. One of the people that went through, you may have seen, was Pat Gordon-Pamplin, and apparently she will be not retiring, and she will be running this election and running a different constituency to try to take a seat away from the PLP. But we'll find out that in a moment when we interview opposition leader Craig Kennedy. Apparently they're just shy of 36 seats, but so we'll see how many they have again in that interview with Craig Kennedy are coming up shortly.
Yeah, this is no longer the case. We need a true representation of Bermuda. Just think about it. The majority is black, and that has happened over the years through attrition, where people have retired and moved on. But think about this here. Who do we have in the House of Assembly that represents the white community? And I think that it is a shame that more of them are not involved in the democracy of Bermuda. It's not a democracy if people aren't represented. And I believe we come together best when we listen to one another and we can represent one another, even though we have differences. That's what you see.
These 6 seats are guaranteed to see.
Let's move on. Okay. This is about today.
Mr. Opposition Leader?
Yep.
I'm live. What are you on, 33? I'm live. Yeah.
I just think he just says we don't like the system.
That's just a mistake. Nobody bothered us. I want to do it right. Sure, yeah. Maybe about that because I'm not
Hi, are you?
I can get you on. We're not changing it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
You want names? Obviously names.
Names.
Yeah. I've got it. I just need to clarify it.
There's a gentleman over there in a navy blazer and red shirt. Oh, is it? Who's that? Who's that? Oh. I would ask him. I know today. Okay. Can
You can see Karen Magnum there. She appears to be one of the candidates the OBA will be running.
This is one of the young men, is it?
Hey, Michael.
And you're one of the OBA?
You look halfway decent in your blazer and your shirt.
And tell me then again why say this is that.
Mr. Dunkley. Mr. Dunkley. Mr. Dunkley.
Yep. And research? Fast food, right? You're 26. And so what do you think is what you think?
Mr. Kemp. Is it up high? Okay. Just a little bit more. There we go. All right, you're up higher because they won't be able to hear you. You can even put it on your lapel. You can put it on your lapel.
Okay.
Okay, why don't you introduce yourselves to the Bermuda public and tell us what constituency you're running for?
Hello, my name is Michael Kean. I will be running in constituency 35, Sandys North. I originally grew up in Somerset, Cookshill. It's 34, but I grew up in Cookshill, so attended West End Primary, Sand Secondary Middle School. I went to the Berkeley Institute, and
What made you decide to run in this election?
Well, basically I was approached by Dwayne Robertson, and it was a call for a lot of young people to get involved because our voices weren't necessarily being heard, especially for the issues that affect us in the future, like climate change, automation, and just the shrinking job market in Bermuda altogether. So I felt the need to get involved instead of complaining, because I always spoke to him and my friends and my circle, and we'd always have ideas, we'd always complain. So I said to myself one day, okay, let me stop complaining and get involved. So maybe some of the ideas that I have, I can help bring to the party.
So, what are some of the ideas that you have that you want to bring forth?
So, looking at cost of living, for example, I think one of the biggest drivers of the cost of living, aside from, is the fact that we import everything. So I feel like maybe 25% tax or the sliding tax, depending on whatever you're shipping in, is detrimental. So maybe if we could look at a VAT or a sales after tax, so at least lower the initial cost of it and make up for it a bit and spread it out over the populace, I think it would be better, because groceries, for example, and certain services would be lower at the cost of purchase. And I think that's one thing that we're going to bring to, even when it comes to government reform. We spoke about like an education authority. We speak about even amalgamating the corporations of Hamilton and St. George's and the West Side to just one, let's say, Prom Bermuda Corporation. So instead of just abolishing them, we can still elect a mayor, we can still have councillors and aldermen, but that'll help spread the money that Hamilton generates to the other parts of the island. And the list goes.
In dealing with the constituents in 35, you said 35?
Yeah, well, I don't live there anymore, but I'm from Somerset. Yeah.
Okay. So, what have you found are they the issues that they're really concerned about?
So I know it's a lot of deterioration of the roads was one thing that's been pointed out, and that's general. I don't want to say cosmetic, because I think that's not. I think that word kind of downplays it, but safety as far as traveling throughout the roads, cleanups. There's a lot of trash in areas. Granted, I am still getting my foot in the door.
Okay.
This is sort of a last minute thing for me, but I think that's definitely something, especially that I've seen.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Mr. Kennedy?
You done? Are you still waiting? Oh, Scott.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, let me just. Yeah. Oh, right there. I can do it in the shade. There we go. Go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Cannoneer, how many candidates do you have running? I know as of yesterday you were about 17 short, so how many candidates did you run?
We're 31 strong, and again, I'll just repeat, as I've been saying, this is about the popular vote. This is about ensuring that we take our time, that we offer Bermuda what we believe to be the next new dynamic leadership of the island. It was important for us to slow down, take our time, and not just throw people into seats.
Now, one of the people I saw walk through was Pat Gordon-Pamplin.
Yes.
And just listening into the other conversations, is that like she's running in a different constituency? So where is she running and why?
Okay, so Pat will be running in constituency number 11. Pat has decided, and I think it was assumed that she was, there's a lot of commotion going on, of course, she was assumed that she was retiring. Not the case at all. As I said, this is about winning this election, and she has put her head in to take back constituency number 11, and we look forward to October 1st when she does just that.
Do you think that's a bit of a risky move in trying to reclaim the government?
No risk, no gain, buddy.
Yeah. For some of the new candidates that you have, can you give us some of the names that I'm not expecting you to remember all 17 new ones?
Yeah, you've seen the new names that we've already rolled out. Just so in addition to that, some of those that we didn't get the opportunity was Michael Kean, who's in Somerset in number 35. We didn't get an opportunity to announce Karen, who's still just waiting for our papers right now. But these are some of the new people. You see Perry down, he's from St. George's. We call him, with heartwarm, Smokey. He's representing in constituency number 1. These are some of the new dynamic people of the soil who are committed and dedicated to bringing a new Bermuda.
Right. Now, some people may wonder, you're not running 36 candidates, and they're saying like you might have trouble getting 36 quality people out to run for you. What would you say to that?
I already answered that question. You asked me how many I ran. I answered it. Right. This is not about just throwing people out there. I am committed to take my time to ensure that who we put in place as the OBA moves forward are solid people committed for the next future of Bermuda.
Right. Which of the other new candidates would you say would have the best chance of taking back maybe one of the, I know it's a hot day out here.
We'll take that on at a later date. I'm baking out here. Sure. I got my whole team. We're ready to move on. We'll take on some of those questions later.
All right. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Cheers.
Okay.
We see Jeff Souza over here, along with Karen Magnum, waiting for their nomination papers so that they can go in. Apparently there's a third person as well. Karen, can I have a word with you?
Yes, we are.
Anyway.
Where do I put it? Just hold it?
You can hold it up because you're wearing the mask, so it's an extra filter.
Can I pull it down to talk? Okay. Okay.
Okay. Karen, you're a very familiar face with the OBA over the years.
Yes.
What made you decide to go ahead and run?
Well, I was going to run in the last election, but I decided not to. But this one, I feel that I'm ready. I'm ready to stand up for my country and to help my country, take it to a higher level. That's what I've done in my life, is helping people. So I got in politics, involved in 2008. So actually I've been doing it for 12 years, but just behind the scenes. Party secretary, deputy chair, women's caucus chair. And now I'm ready to take it forward and get to the House of Assembly.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I noticed is like both parties are running a lot more women, or it seems like they're running a lot more women this time around. How do you feel about that?
Oh, as women's caucus chair, of course, I'm very happy about that. I think women have a place in politics. I think we, how do I say it? We're good negotiators. We tend to look at the bigger picture. We're flexible. We're helpers. We care. We're the caretakers, so we care about our country. I'm not saying better than anybody else, but we are the caretakers. And more women should run in politics.
Now, I noticed you, Jeff Souza, and I think there's a third candidate. You're all waiting on your nomination papers. Is it a little bit nerve-wracking trying to get in before 1 o'clock?
Oh no, I'm fine. I'm just waiting for a receipt. So no, I'm not nerve-wracked at all.
Okay. What do you think the OBA's chances are this October?
I believe it depends on whether we see this new third party come out. We're waiting on the third party. If Mark Bean's party comes out with a strong slew of candidates, I think in some of our constituencies we could actually do very well.
All right. Do you think that's going to help the OBA more than the PLP?
We'll have to wait and see because it could go both ways.
Okay.
It depends on the candidate, the
FDM.
FDM.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The candidates they bring out, and see how the quality of candidates they bring out. I think it could go both ways, OBA, PLP, depending on the candidate.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Don.
All right, you ready, boss?
Yeah.
Woof. Am I sweating to death?
Yeah.
All right.
If you could maybe just back up a step or two.
Okay.
There we go. There we go. All right,
Which
it's a lot quieter now than it was earlier too. So it's
There we
easy to
go.
hear. All right. So OBA unveiling a lot of new candidates today.
Yes.
What would you have to say about the quality of the people that haven't been announced?
Oh, I'm really excited. This is a delightful team. We're rolling out a lot of new faces. We also have some of our veterans who have chosen to move from their seats to go run in other seats to try to win. We're in this election to win, and we're very excited about the team we have. I would encourage people to take a look at our new candidates and see the new people we have, because this is a great cross-section of Bermuda. We have every aspect of Bermuda here. Young and old, black and white, east and west. This is what Bermuda represents. The OBA is what Bermuda represents.
Now, we heard from the Premier that Pat Gordon-Pamplin's running in 11.
Yes.
Who else do you have running in other seats?
So we've got Pat Gordon-Pamplin, who has moved. We have Jefferson Souza, who's moved. As I say, we're doing whatever we can to try to take this election, and we're going to do our best for the people of Bermuda.
Yeah. Now, I know last time Jeff, and I think it was 24-25, one of the two.
Yeah.
But he barely lost. That was actually the closest constituency that the OBA came to winning, but didn't.
Right.
What was sort of the strategy of not running him in that seat where he's very strong?
So, listen, Jeff is a fantastic, very, very strong candidate for us. He is now going to go run up in 36, and we believe we can win 36 with Jeff. Obviously, there's this third party, Don, and that changes a lot. We don't know how people are going to move because of this third party, and if they're in that seat and it's a three-way race, that makes it very exciting. And if it's a two-way race between us and the PLP, that makes it very exciting. I mean, people like Pat and Jeff are trusted people that the voters know and the voters want to see as their MPs in the House.
Of the new candidates today that are completely new, that haven't been long-time people in the party, like Jeff and Pat and Karen Magnum, who do you really like and really are impressed by? I know you're going to say all of them. But
exactly. Don, I'm not going to name 16 or 18 names or 20 names. But, I mean, look, we've got people like Jarian Richardson running in Paget West. We have Marcus Jones running in Spanish Point. We have Robin Tucker running up in Napton Hill and out to the east there. I mean, these are great, great candidates. These are Bermudians in the prime of their life who are prepared to sacrifice and serve for the people. And we need people like them to come together and solve our problems.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I've got a friend coming down in October, and she wanted to have a place to stay, and I immediately was going to call you. My bad. Yeah, interrupting our conversation. See? Yeah, you must have badass track and field.
All right.
Just hold it up close to your mouth.
I'll just hold it here.
Okay. All right.
I'll take my mask off if you don't mind.
Okay.
I like my face without a mask.
Okay. I would say for most people, you would be the nomination day shock or the surprise to see you running. Everyone had thought that you had stepped away. What made you decide to go ahead and run in a different constituency?
Well, let me speak first of all to your comment about nomination day shock. I can remember in October of 1993 when I showed up on nomination day to run in Warwick East, I believe it was at that point in time. It was called the nomination day shock at that point in time because I was challenging the then candidates who were running for the UBP, who were John Irving Pearman and Gerald Simons. So being a shock is not it's not uncommon for me, and it's not unheard of. Actually, what's interesting in this election is that I did step away from 23, but I never said that I had retired. What I did was to make the determination that I would run. I would actually hold myself out to be available if the party needed me. And so here I am. My concern is always for Bermuda first, and whatever personal things may have made the decision to step down at that point in time, I was able to work through them on a personal level so I could make myself available. I certainly am more than heartened at the candidate who's replacing me in 23. Jarian Richardson is an absolute quality candidate, and I think that is what we want to look for. We want to make sure that our candidates that we put forward to be represented by by the One Bermuda Alliance for the people of Bermuda, that they are good quality candidates, and we've achieved that.
Now, what makes you think you can turn the tide in 11? Because the OBA, in order for them to take the government, are going to have to pick up 8 seats.
Yes, that's a tall order, and let me just say that notwithstanding that it's a tall order, the situation that we have is. The situation that we have, even though it's a tall order, we have, we have to put the work in. We have to put the work in. I believe that if people are honest, they would be able to say that notwithstanding that the government had a 25-11 majority, that they chose to call an election in the midst of a pandemic. They've shown total disregard for people and their health. The parliamentary registrar has done yeoman work to try to keep people safe. But was it necessary? 25-11? Absolutely outrageous. But I think the reality is that they know that they had no economic plan and that they want to have 5 years to try to figure it out. So, I just say to the people of Bermuda to be vigilant and to hold people accountable, because that's what we are required to do as an electorate, as well as an opposition, if that ends up being our lot.
We know from 2017 the landscape in Bermuda is vastly different because of the pandemic.
Right.
What are you hearing people telling you about their personal circumstances and what sort of changes that they want?
Well, from what I've heard, there are many people who the first thing people do is to applaud the handling of the COVID pandemic in Bermuda, and I applaud the handling as well. But I don't believe that the credit belongs with the government, because the government had a blueprint to go by. I believe the credit goes to the people of Bermuda, who were able to comply with the restrictions that were required in order to make sure that we had a good outcome for the pandemic. So many people are saying, well, is it really that we support that party or continue to support them because they're riding on the crest of COVID? My honest reaction and what people are saying to me is that they may have kept us alive, but we are hungry and we are still without employment. So until such time as I see some economic plan, right now I believe that we are still on the second swirl down the toilet as far as the economy is concerned, and I believe that the people of Bermuda need to hold the government accountable for that, and they need to demand better.
Okay. Why do you feel the OBA would be better at handling the economy over the next 5 years?
Well, let's just put this in proper perspective. Over the past 3 years, the PLP did virtually nothing to enhance the economic situation for Bermuda. So we recognize that, which means that they don't have an awful lot of ideas in terms of how to do it. I was invited by the Minister of Finance to sit on the COVID Economic Recovery Committee, and 2 weeks ago I was disinvited. I was asked to stand down by the Finance Minister because the election had been called. So it shows me that I don't believe that they are particularly concerned about the country. I believe that they are more concerned about the party and about the power that comes with it. So it's really quite unfortunate. But we take these things in stride, and we just continue to do the best that we can for this country, and that's my intention.
Okay, thank you, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Okay, we're just waiting for the nomination papers to show up for a few OBA candidates, plus the FDM to show up, make their first official appearance. We have had two. We have had two independents, one of which we knew beforehand, Pastor Maria Seaman, and FDM is now coming. We see them just starting to walk up the drive here.
They're coming in. Is that's the party leader. Good afternoon, sir.
We'll just move over a little bit.
The organization is coming up in line.
Yes.
Candidates for the FDM.
A lot of women involved in this organization.
7. 7.
Hey, Gavin.
We saw Eugene Dean there. We saw Gavin Smith. All right, Gavin Smith going in. We'll count them. That's 2. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Can you take these pictures? I just, I'm so generous. Which one you got? Yeah.
Seven, 8, 9. All right, it looks like the FDM has 15 candidates running, so not enough to win the government if all of them were elected, but if they win some seats, they could play a kingmaker role in deciding which party becomes. when they're finished going in and being nominated, we'll speak with FDM leader Mark Bean with regard to who the candidates are and where they're running. Quite a few women. It seems to be a theme of this campaign for all the parties. It's 12:40, so there's 20 minutes left. 20 minutes left for candidates to come in.
How many candidates? 50.
Thank you very much.
Be interested to see what they say.
Hi. Don Burgess News. You mind if I just give you a quick interview?
Sorry?
Don Burgess News.
Well, our leader is going to deal with the press. That's fine.
Thank you. So I was just told by one of the candidates that apparently only Mark Bean will be speaking to the press and not the candidates themselves. So.
Thanks for that, Don.
Two more FDM candidates.
like this. This is.
Where?
I want to get a nice coalition government out of this.
Yes, it is. Have a go. Wait, actually, yeah. Have a go. I don't think you'll be able to get your feeling very soon. Yeah. That's a great job.
50.
Sorry, 12.
15?
Sorry. Yeah, because Michael Scott stepped down and
Hi, Jeremy. Sorry. How many seats? Sarah, what was that? Magnum standing, yeah. Okay, let me just. Mr. Cannon is.
All right, Desmond. Thank you later. Thank you.
And I got a pepper. Burch, which is one. You know what? I don't care about that. They know anybody who's going to check. Anybody who's going to check.
So with 15, if it's true, if it's 15 candidates running for the FDM and 31 for the OBA, that will mean at least 10 seats, 10 constituencies the voters will have choice of 3 different candidates. We're not counting whether or not independents also have to be running in those same seats. So.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Take pictures of
Yes.
I took them from afar.
Part is over here.
What's that?
The party.
He don't call me. I understand as a doctor. I understand as a doctor. Okay. I'm gonna rise up. I'm glad it's gonna reach down to me. Oh, this is a good thing.
Sir.
Oh my goodness.
What's that? Oh, you can ask him.
So I will. Your number's the same. I will. Yeah.
What's your opinion about
listen, a lot of invitations are going out. We're like, let's do it. I saw an email that went out the other day of ridiculous conditions. That makes no sense whatsoever. Let's do it. You got 3 weeks, right? What's gonna happen? They're gonna say it's too late now. Good.
Nicholas Kemp just going in for the OBA. Running in this next election. All right, we've got less than 10 minutes for everyone to get their nomination papers in. It's 12:51. Nominations close at 1 o'clock. But just as a brief recap, 2 independents, Pastor Maria Seaman and David W. Burch.
Cooley is over there. Uncle Cooley. 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 They won it.
36 candidates for the PLP, the OBA. 31 candidates, and apparently the FDM have 15 unofficially. So we're waiting to get the official word from FDM leader Mark Bean.
Everybody wants to avoid the gum about no, I don't.
Just hold it. And just step back just slightly. There you go. Thank you. Okay, we're here with Antoine Rayner. Tell us where you're running, sir, and why are you running?
I'm running in 27, and the reason I'm running is really to be an advocate for my area.
Okay. What do you think are the issues that need to be solved in your area?
Well, we have a lot of youth that, you know, need. We have a lot of youth that need.
It's live. Okay.
Well, we have youth that need their concerns met. We have youth violence. We have youth that need jobs, right? And we also have seniors. Right now, seniors are having to decide between buying their medicine, buying food, the cost of living, it's hitting them hard, which is not fair because they're the ones who helped us to build this country, you know? So I'm really running because I want to bring attention to the issues in my area, and I don't feel like they're being properly addressed.
And you didn't feel either or any of the three political parties fit your ideology?
Well, I think this new party is very interesting, right? I don't have anything against the OBA or the PLP per se, but I do feel like the people's interest has become secondary to party interest.
Okay. All right. I just need you to hold your microphone a little closer to your mouth. Yeah. So, again, just if you can just repeat your name and which constituency you're running in again.
Sure. My name is Antoine Rayner.
Okay. And constituency?
Constituency 27.
27. All right. Thank you, Mr. Rayner.
No problem.
I'm looking for the people, the good people in this country where we have place candidates to make a decision, and it's their choice. And so if they feel that the Free Democratic movement is providing an alternative in terms of vision and policies, then of course you have to seriously consider voting for our candidate. If they disagree with what I'm pursuing, then I would force them to vote for another candidate.
How many candidates do you have?
16.
16 candidates. Okay. And why did you come out to want to do this in this election this year? Like, what made you, let's make this party?
Sometimes obedience is always better than sacrifice.
Mr. Bean, what do you think is going to be the distinguishing characteristics for the FDM as opposed to the other two political parties?
Well, the principles that we're founded on is freedom, one. But most importantly, we have to have focus on equality, justice, honesty. I think is going to stand up as a reflection of what the Free Democratic movement is. Honesty. It might not sound like a lot, but I think if the good people of this country reflect on whether or not politics as a whole has been honest, then they will say that it hasn't. But yet everyone who is walking in here is seeking to have a title before the name called honorable. Okay. That has to be spurred up, doesn't it? So if you want a title of honorable, you should start conducting yourself and behave honorable with honesty. And so I think the Free Democratic movement is going to emphasize honesty.
So then each candidate's personal integrity is the outstanding first characteristic that you're looking for?
Well, let's put it this way, we are all human, we all have frailties, you know, and so what happens is that everyone has the opportunity to go from strength to strength. So we're not saying that we're perfect at all, but yet what we're going to strive to do is be an example of what good, honest stewardship is in Holland. That's it. We're not perfect, but we're going to strive.
Under the previous, your previous time in the House of Assembly, I'm sure you were robbed of who Mark Bean was destined to be.
Not really. I know that as a man I have to reflect, and I participated in Bermuda yesterday. We do it the day of the other. So I put my hand up, all the errors and mistakes I made, and you know, it takes two to tango. So I have no regrets. I don't feel I've been robbed. I just have to learn from the experience and come back and see how I can be of more service to the country.
What are you going to do different this time around?
we'll just see. We'll see. By a man's deeds, he shall be man.
The West End, Mr. Bean, the West End is very much a PLP stronghold. And do you believe, certainly with your background, perhaps your chance to make an inroads for you?
It's possible, if that's what the voters desire. And if they desire otherwise, then we wouldn't get no votes. But I respect the good people of Summit, like every other constituency, and it's their choice.
Do you believe that with you on the PLP path, creating a new party might weaken the PLP as a whole, Mr. Speaker?
The intention isn't to weaken either party, but it's to strengthen democracy. And so if you notice our platform, and you're going to see our policies, I think we're going to be attractive to both sides of the political aisle. And so if people think that the PLP is going to lose votes because of our presence, that could be a miscalculation. The One Bermuda Alliance can also lose votes because of our presence. Mr. Dean, I didn't want to jump in there, so I wanted to rewind a little separately if you're finished.
I still got a couple more questions. Okay. Yeah, I noticed that you have a lot of women running as well. How important is it to have women equally represented as men?
The FDM is about merit, M-E-R-I-T. So if you look at our candidates, they are here because of merit. Nothing else. No other consideration. We don't pander. We don't put women in place just because of women. We put women in place because they have the qualities to be leaders in the very own right, even the Premier of this country or the Prime Minister of this country. So when you represent the Free Democratic Movement, you're here because you earned it.
Now, with only running 16 candidates, obviously you can't form the government by having 19 seats. What do you hope to be able to accomplish with as many seats as that you win?
Well, again, we submit ourselves to the will of the voter. And as a result of, when we see the results of the voter, we have to conduct ourselves.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, but I didn't want, like I said, I wanted to jump in late. First of all, congratulations to each and every one of you.
Okay, we're getting ready to wrap up here. They're getting ready to close the doors, so no other people will be able to come in. We have at least 3 independents: Antoine Rayner, David W. Burch, and Pastor Maria Seaman. With all the activity that's going around here, there may be more, maybe not, but those are the 3 that we saw and we spoke with. The FDM are running 16 candidates. So not enough to win the government, but they could play a spoiler role or a kingmaker role if they win any seats, depending on how the split goes on the rest of them. So again, the election is on October 1st. Early voting is available for those who are vulnerable, seniors, those who are traveling, and that starts already, and you can get in to vote if you're worried about being at a poll because of COVID. And for Burr News, this is Don Burgess. Thank you for watching this live Election Day nomination coverage.